let's start from the beginning. Okay, my bad. Let's start this from the beginning. So, Lighter works the following way. Lighter has a bar similar to Jane. Whenever that bar is active, the character can do different things, right? Normally, he has a five part basic attack chain, where on the third he can be spammable, just like Qingyi, right? And he does the type of shit, right? But whenever he's off field for a long time or he's fighting on field, he start building up a bar called morale, right? That morale bar can also be used to launch a quick assist, right? He can automatically trigger a quick assist, just like we saw while doing the 1.2 story. I don't know if you guys noticed, whenever you guys were doing the 1.2 story, there were a couple of moments that Lighter would just randomly show up on the field and do a big bam and fill up the daze bar like crazy, right? That's a special thing that he's able to do whenever he has at least 80% of that bar filled up, right? Just like it says here, when morale reaches 80%, the next time Lighter switches into battle, he immediately launches a quick assist, right? When once the morale, he has a 5-piece chicken nugget meal. okay. So stupid, dude. And whenever his morale goes above 80, right, and he does all of his 5 attacks on his basic attack chain, he enters that morale burst state, which is similar to Jane passion state, right? Whenever he's into that mode, he deals more daze damage, so he fills out that daze bar faster, right? Every 10 points of morale that he consumes increases the amount of impact. Well, that means how faster he fills up a daze bar, up to 20%, and that lasts for 6 seconds, right? But not only that, whenever he's into that morale burst mode, which again is kind of like the passion state, everything you do into that mode consumes that bar. Every time that he starts attacking an enemy, he's going to lower both their ice and fire resistance, right? Not only that, but he also extends the duration of a stun, right? So for example, Rina can extend the duration of a shock. Lighter can extend the duration of an enemy being stunned, so being in that window while he's doing nothing and he's taking extra damage, right? So not only whenever he's on the morale burst state, he lowers the enemy ice and fire res, he also builds up impact faster and also extends the time that that enemy is going to be stunned, right? Up plus 3 seconds, basically. But whenever you have him with an attacker or any character that shares his faction, so can be any pure DPS, which is an attack class, or Caesar, Lucy, Bernice, or Piper, he can, while he's attacking into that morale burst state, he not only lowers the enemy ice and fire res, but he also increases the ice and fire damage that the characters do, right? And that's why he's such a versatile character. The question here is, right? The question here is his daze mostly from his EX or mostly from his basic attack chain, right? Is he a Qingyi or is he a Colada, right? Is he a Lycan or is he a Colada, right? Does he in and out and it is stunned? He's an off-fielder stunner, let's put it like this. Or is he more of an on-field stunner, kind of like Lycan and Qingyi, right? That's kind of the question, and that I don't really know, right? I just don't really know. Sure, his EX has crazy daze multipliers. I won't deny that, right? But his auto attacks also have pretty good daze multipliers. So since I haven't done the math, right, I'm literally just looking at this, I can't really tell if he's gonna need a shitload of field time or just a little bit, right? And that is my question, because that matters a lot, right? And unfortunately, I wasn't able to try him out, so I don't really know. But he is clearly a pretty good stunner, because he can buff at the same time fire and ice characters. So again, if Miyabi can be played just like Yanagi, right? And she's a flexible character. They can be both on field and off field, depending on how you build them. Then you can, for example, do Miyabi, Bernice, and Lighter, right? To get the most out of Lighter. But that also depends how much field time Lighter needs, right? Still, that composition would be crazy, because again, they would be buffing both fire and ice damage, and by buffing both fire and ice damage, you basically increase the overall disorder damage as well, right? And since you have a stunner, you're gonna have the enemy stunned more, which allows you to also increase the multiplier on disorder, right? Because the enemy stunned, he takes more damage. Disorder procs while he's stunned, so he takes more damage, right? Am I making sense here, Spirit? I haven't studied Lighter Kit as much as Yanagi, but I feel like I've already understood enough. Am I making sense here, homie? Doesn't Lighter stun last longer too? It does. Three more seconds. He has to be on the morale burst state though. But let's be fair here. Just like Jane, it is pretty easy to get them into that state. Especially because Lighter also gains that bar while he's AFK, right? He gains basically 3 points per second, right? So we're talking full bar in 34 seconds, right? He can have his full bar in 34 seconds being off field, right? So for example, you can go into Bernice, do the spin, NEX, go into Miyabi, for example, do a couple of attacks, NEX. That's probably already enough time for him to have his morale filled up or really close to it, right? Because that rotation is gonna take you what, 20 to 30 seconds, which is almost full morale. Then you're gonna get him into the field, do his EX, do his things. Whenever you stun the enemy, you do the chain attack with a disorder application while the enemy is stunned, right? So it is a creative way to play, for sure. Because of the double elemental buffs that he does, it makes the character actually interesting to play. But it's also a lot of investment for a character that you can basically only use with 2 elements, right? Sure, you can use him on a fire-only comp, you can use him on an ice-only comp, but I would argue that he only shines whenever you're mixing ice and fire, right? And when are you going to have those possibilities, right? Probably only when mixing Bernice and Miyabi, probably, right? Anything else, Spirit? Was there something here on the kit that doesn't really make sense? I feel like that makes enough sense, right? Probably. Are y'all understanding what I'm putting down here? Here in the guide, I took a look at it while the internet wasn't working. Motherfuckers are trying to do hyper carry Lighter. I don't think he's gonna be that good. Sure, he's gonna do damage. I don't think it's a hyper carry though. Dual DPS while using Bernice, I also don't think that's good enough. I feel like, of course, they're not gonna say about this because Miyabi isn't even officially confirmed. But I feel like he's a character tailor-made for Miyabi and Bernice, right? Yeah, my only question is, what if he could replace Lycan? We already answered. I mean, he can. He can. Sure, he can. Right? He can replace Lycan for sure. But why would you replace Lycan on a ice-only team? Right? Why? He'll 100% shine on a double element comp. But the thing is, we have so few characters right now that realistically, the only option is either using Alan, Hem, and Bernice, but then Alan doesn't get her buff, right? Which sucks because there's no Victoria housekeeping or ice character to give Alan her buff, so it's kind of useless. Or you have to go Miyabi Bernice, right? Which is so basically right now, and on the future there will probably change, but right now He's a character that will work with only one comp, right? He will only work with Fire Ice. Because if you wanted to use him on an ice, if you wanted a stunner for that full fire team, you would use Koleda. If you want a character for a full ice team, you would use Lycan, right? So he seems like a character, super niche character, right? Maybe in the future, we're gonna get an anomaly, or not an anomaly character, but an attacker that actually does both fire and ice at the same time. Who knows? But right now, he can literally only be used if you have both Miyabi and Bernice. So that feels a little bit prohibitive, doesn't it? And that's kind of my problem with him, right? If he was an amazing fire stunner or an amazing ice stunner, maybe I would be seduced to pull for him. But since he's a character designed for dual element teams, it's kind of tough to want him, right?